Disclaimer. This video content is AI generated as educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis or treatment. Your health concerns may be unique. Always consult your physician or a qualified healthcare provider for personalized guidance.
Have you ever really thought about how your body sounds the alarm the very second a virus invades? Well, today we're diving deep into our microscopic emergency services, the incredible interferon system. Let's get right into it. I mean, it's a super common question, and it's so frustrating, right? A huge part of the answer lies in this lightning-fast response that kicks into gear long before our more famous immune fighters, like antibodies, even know there's a battle to be fought. So here's the fundamental problem our body is up against. Viral replication, it's just explosive. It's incredibly fast. Meanwhile, our main immune system, with its heavy hitters like antibodies and T cells, is actually kind of slow to get going. This creates a really dangerous gap, and, well, something has to fill it. So what fills that gap? Well, let's meet the hero of our story today, the body's emergency alarm system, a group of proteins we call interferons. Okay, so let's break that down. What actually is an interferon? Well, it's a type of signaling protein, a cytokine, that an infected cell shoots out, and the name pretty much gives away its job. It doesn't kill the virus directly, but it interferes with the virus's ability to copy itself. It's like the first warning shot. Probably the best way to picture this is with an analogy. Imagine one of your cells gets infected. That cell is like a house that's just caught on fire. That cell immediately triggers a loud blaring siren, that's the interferon, and that siren alerts all the neighboring houses, giving them just enough time to lock their doors and get ready for the danger that's coming their way. Now, when we're talking about viral respiratory infections, the most important players are the type 1 interferons. And here's a super simple way to remember that. I stands for immediate response. These are the absolute first responders on the scene. We're talking interferon alpha and interferon beta, and they're crucial for that initial control of the infection.
So we get what interferons are, but how does that siren actually stop the virus? Well, it creates what you can think of as an antiviral lockdown.
So it all starts the moment a virus gets inside one of your cells. Your cell has these internal sensors, and they are designed to recognize foreign viral RNA or DNA. It just knows this stuff doesn't belong. The second it makes that detection, boom, it pulls the fire alarm and starts pumping out interferons. And this is the crucial part. Those interferon signals wash over the neighboring cells, and it forces them to enter this defensive posture called an antiviral state. They essentially lock the factory doors by shutting down all protein production. They bring out the shredders to just destroy viral RNA, and they block the assembly lines. All of this makes it incredibly difficult for any virus that gets inside to actually replicate. This quote just sums it up perfectly. Interferons aren't the weapons themselves. They're more like the defense coordinators. They turn the entire local neighborhood from a welcoming place into a totally hostile territory for the virus. And they don't even stop there. Interferons also act as this critical bridge to the rest of your immune system. They're the ones calling for backup, activating other early responders like natural killer cells, and helping get the big guns, the T cells, ready for the real battle ahead. Now, this all sounds great in theory, but what happens in the real world when this alarm system is weak or late? This is where the story gets really, really relevant to our own health. And what we see time and time again in clinical studies is this direct link. A strong early interferon response usually means you get a mild illness, but a weak or a delayed response, that often leads to severe disease. It's that simple. Just look at this table. The pattern is crystal clear across all these different viruses. With influenza, a poor response means higher viral loads. In infants who get severe RSV, what do we see? A naturally blunted interferon response. And with COVID-19, a delayed response was a key factor in the most severe cases, just letting the virus replicate completely out of control. Research from the pandemic gave us this critical insight. So many people just assumed that severe COVID was all about massive inflammation, but the real root cause was often a low initial interferon response. The inflammation, that was just a chaotic, messy reaction to an uncontrolled fire, a fire that raged because the early alarm system failed. It really shows you that huge inflammation is not the same thing as effective immunity. So you might be thinking, if interferons are so important, why don't we just give them as a medicine to everyone who gets sick? Well, the answer, as we're about to see, is that with this system, timing is absolutely everything.
Yeah, using interferons as a therapy is a real double-edged sword. If you give them very early on, right when the virus is starting to take hold, they can definitely help contain it. But if you give them late in the game, when the body's already on fire with inflammation, they can actually pour gasoline on that fire and make everything much, much worse. And here's another fantastic mnemonic to really lock this concept in. Just remember the word early. For interferon therapy to have a chance of working, it has to be given during the early antiviral phase while replication is still ongoing and when there's low inflammation. Only then does it yield a benefit. Okay, to tie all of this together, let's use one final, really powerful analogy. Let's imagine a viral infection isn't a fire, but it's a burglary in progress. In this whole scenario, the interferons are the security alarm system. You know, the one that's supposed to go off the second the burglar breaks in. And the antibodies, the ones that show up much later, they're the police, fully equipped to catch the culprit and restore order. And that really is the core message of this whole thing. If the alarm system is broken or it's delayed, it really doesn't matter how good the police are. By the time they show up, the damage has already been done. So what's the one thing you should walk away with today? It's this. The battle against a virus is very often won or lost in just the first few hours. It's the quality of your body's initial alarm, your interferon response, that really decides how sick you're going to get long before your antibodies even show up to the party. Thanks for tuning in.